Hello everyone, this is chapter 12. This is the second part of chapter 12, social insurance and a new function of government. So we will continue from slide 10, that's where we stopped last time. I'm moving to slide 10, sorry for the scrolling. So the main question we ask is why should we have social insurance? When we say social insurance, that means government is interfering in the market. Why can't people just get private insurance? Okay, so the answer is asymmetric information. Asymmetric information means people know more about his or her likelihood of an accident or illness than does the insurer. So in terms of health insurance, you know more about your health problems and your expected usage or utilization of this insurance than does the insurance company. So due to asymmetric information, what happens is that if there's no mandate, okay, only people who will use the insurance extensively will buy insurance. So if that's the case, then the insurance market will not even exist. Why? Because for an insurance market to exist, you need healthy people and also healthy people who may have some sort of illness tomorrow. We don't know, right? And you also want to have obviously some people who have health issues, right? So this becomes a pool. But due to asymmetric information, if you don't put a mandate, only unhealthy people will buy insurance. Therefore, the insurance market will collapse. So the next example explains this situation. So insurer will be reluctant to sell the person a policy at an actuarially fair price. Why? Because they're high risk. Even high risk people at the actuarially fair price will not find policy because insurance company will go out of business. So let's set up the model. Assume that there are two groups of people. Each group has 100 people. First group has 5% chance of getting injured. So this group is the careless group, high risk group, so to speak. Second group has a lower chance, 0.5% chance of getting injured. This is a low risk group, okay? So the payout is $30,000 when injured. So the cost of injury or sickness is $30,000. The difference is that one group has higher chance of getting injured. So let's take a look at this table 2. This is a table that shows insurance pricing with separate groups of consumers. And we'll learn about how asymmetric information will cause the collapse of insurance market. So let's study the full information first. So imagine that, we have 100 careless people, 100 careful people, an insurance company can tell exactly if a person is careful or careless. Let's say, it's like a funny example, but let's say you can read in their forehead, it says careless, careful, okay? This is not the real world case, obviously. We don't know if a person is careless or careful. So then insurance company can offer separate pricing for these people. So how much to charge? We need to calculate the actuarially fair premium for careless people. It's going to be $30,000, right? Times, that's the cost of accident, 5%. So it's going to be $1,500 for careless group. So this is the actual. So the expected payout will be 30,000 times 5% plus $0, 0.95%, right? We learn how to calculate actuarially fair premium. So this is the expected payout as well. Careful people, on the other hand, has the same setup, but it's a similar setup. To be precise, 30,000 times, not 5%, but they had 0.5%, so it's 0.005 times 30,000 plus $0 payout times 0.955. Okay, so if you do this, if you do this calculation, for careless people, premium will be $1,500. For careful people, it's going to be $150. 30,000 times 0.005. So total premiums paid by these people, right? 100 people will pay $1,500. These are careless people. 100 people will pay $150. Careful people, 150,000 plus 15,000, 165. And total benefits paid out by this company will be 165, right? That's the expected payout. So 165 minus 165, zero profits to insurers. So with zero profits, zero economic profit, we know we stay in the business with zero economic profits. But let's see what happens. So this is okay. The insurance market will exist in this case. So let's go over these explanations. I want to give you explanations before we go over these bubbles. With full information, the insurance company can tell high risk from low risk. That's what full information means. In people's foreheads, it says careful, careless. Okay? It therefore charges separate prices to each group. Competition forces it to charge an actuarially fair price. The premium to accident prone is therefore 5% chance of accident times expected payout, 30,000. For the careful, it is going to be 0.5% times 30,000. The insurance company collects $1,500 from 100 people, $150 from other 100 people who are careful. Total premiums will be equal to expected cost. So insurance market will exist. So let's talk about asymmetric information. So asymmetric information means insurance company can't tell who is who, but insurance company knows that it will charge careless people $1,500, careful people $150. So imagine, right, this is very interesting. Imagine the insurance company cannot tell people apart. This is asymmetric information. So you can still charge separate premiums to different groups taking the person's word, okay? So if insurance company asks you, are you careful or careless? If you're careful, you pay $150. If you're careless, you pay $1,500. What will you say? You know what? Personally, I'm going to say I'm careful, okay? So what happens is that all these 200 people will claim that they're all careful, okay? So the accident prone have no incentive to tell the company because they're going to pay 10 times as much if they reveal the truth about themselves. So all 200 people will say they're careful. Insurance company collects 200 times 150, right? $30,000. However, 100 of these people are careless. They're going to cause accidents. So the cost expected payout will be $165,000, but the insurance company only collected $30,000, right? Therefore, the insurance company will lose money. How much? It will be $135,000. So insurance company will go out of business. Private insurance market will collapse. Okay, in this case, the company loses money. Therefore, it won't offer insurance. Market will fail. You will not be able to get insurance. Let's consider second case. So second solution is, again, we have asymmetric information. We can't tell who's who. The other alternative is that insurance company, knows that, oh, I don't know if somebody's careful or careless. So I can charge everybody the same premium. So what can I do? Expected payout will be 165. So divide this by 200. That's going to be $825. Okay. So the average cost for the population would be 165K divided by 200, 825 per person, regardless whether you're careful or careless. Check this out. If you are a careful person, you will not want to pay this. It's too much. Okay? So I'm going back. You're a careful person. Okay, it's just too much. The actuarially fair premium for careful people is 150. So careful people won't buy insurance. So in my case, I have in my home, I do have flood insurance, and my house is not even in the flood zone. I purchased it because I thought the price was fair, actuarially fair. But if it was too high, I wasn't going to buy it. If it was $5,000, there was no way I was going to buy it. Okay, so let's continue. So again, company just charges average, right? With this price structure, careful people will not buy the policy. Okay, you only will collect money from the careless people because for them actuarially fair price is $1,500. And they will be buying it. Why? They're willing to pay $1,500. We're giving them a policy $825. Sure. So what happens is that company collects $825 times 100, $82,500. Okay. But these people, you only have careless people, right? Expected payout will be 100. Expected payout will be $1,500 times 100 because I only have careless people now. So expected payout, I'm going to pay out 150K minus 82,500. So again, company loses money. Okay, again, the company loses money, so it will not offer insurance. Therefore, market will fail again with a pooling. This is called a pooling equilibrium. Pooling means, so very important, this will come in the test, right? Pooling means you're charging everybody the same premium. You're averaging because there's asymmetric information. I can't tell from careful from careless. So adverse selection will affect the insurance market. Adverse selection actually plagues the insurance market. People will buy insurance if it's a fair deal to them. Okay? Only the high risk will take up the policy. If only the high risk people take up the policy, the insurance company will lose money and market will fail. Okay? Here's the problem of adverse selection. In 1980s, California health insurer Health America Corporation was rejecting all applicants who lived in San Francisco. Company believed that AIDS was too prevalent there. So AIDS is an immune system disease. Pretended to review the applicants for 3-4 weeks, Health America Corporation, and then they would reject all applicants regardless of their HIV status. This is a market failure because with full information, individuals were likely to buy insurance at the actuarially fair premium, even if the premium were higher due to AIDS. So if a person has AIDS and insurance company thinks that it's going to affect the cost, sure, charge them a higher actuarially fair premium, and sure enough, some people will actually buy that insurance. Okay, so this is very important. The question is, does asymmetric information, so you need to know what asymmetric information is. Asymmetric information again means that the insured knows more about, in our case, in this specific case, knows more about his or her health condition than the insurer. Okay, so insurer doesn't know. So this is another type of principal agent problem. Agent knows more about the status than the principal knows. Okay, asymmetric information. So this question is really important. We're going to work on a question in a second. Does asymmetric information necessarily lead to market failure? No, if most people are risk aversive. So risk aversive people will pay for insurance above the actuarially fair price. In this case, in a pooling equilibrium, which means everybody is charged the same price, all types will buy full insurance. Okay? So even though 825 is very high for careful people which have injury risk of only 0.5%, therefore actuarially fair premium for them is $150. If they are risk averse, then they're going to buy this insurance. And the second reason is insurance company can actually offer these two groups separate products at separate prices. Therefore, consumers reveal their true types of being careless or careful. Okay? So this leads to a separating equilibrium again. Separating equilibrium means selling different products. Again, it's a market failure in the sense that it will cause partial coverage. Okay, insurers then can force the low risk people to choose between full insurance with high premium or partial insurance with lower premium. So this is an example. Separating equilibrium is an example. For instance, folks, car insurance in Texas, car insurance is mandated, right? But liability insurance is a mandate. Okay, so car liability insurance is a mandate, and you can think of it as low risk people who are so confident in themselves. I'm never going to get into an accident, therefore I'll just get liability, that's partial insurance, versus higher premium also covers me, right? Comprehensive coverage, for instance, it covers me and that will be the full insurance with higher premium. So that's again, separating equilibrium could be market failure. Insurance is offered to both groups, but low risk people don't get the full insurance. Again, that's suboptimal, because even though I am low risk, right? Let's say I am actually pretty low risk. I drive very carefully. If I don't insure myself with a comprehensive coverage, that is suboptimal, because I still have 0.5% chance of accident that will cost $30,000. Okay, and now if I'm not fully insured, that's not optimal. Okay, so learning by doing, practice question 1. Okay, which of these statements are true? Okay, so number 1, the chief role of federal government has historically been promoting the general welfare. So to answer this question, folks, we need to go to this slide. Okay, so it says government today devotes a much larger proportion of its budget to social insurance than it did 50 years ago. So therefore the role has gone up, but it's not always been historically doing this. So this is not true. Okay, this is not right answer. People desire consumption smoothing because of diminishing marginal utility. Well, yes, we talked about this, right? Why do we seek consumption smoothing? That's in part 1 of chapter 12. The last one is adverse selection invariably results in market failure. What does last slide say? Does asymmetric information, adverse selection necessarily lead to market failure? No. Okay, it doesn't necessarily. So the correct answer is 2 only. Okay. Alright, so adverse selection. What was adverse selection? Adverse selection means there's asymmetric information, people know about their health condition, and only people with higher risk will select into the insurance market. And if not everybody is in the health insurance market, then we don't have everybody participating, and as a result, insurance markets will fail. So, for instance, take your professor, myself. I am pretty healthy. I still have health insurance because I don't know, if I get sick, let's say flu or something, yeah, I'll survive. And I haven't had a major surgery, right? I will survive lots of things without health insurance, but I still carry insurance because I'm actually very risk averse. I carry insurance because of some sort of risk. May God prevent I have, let's say, cancer next year. Knock on wood, right? And then what if my treatment cost goes upwards couple of $100,000? There's no way I can pay for it, okay? So how does government address adverse selection? The government can help correct this kind of market failure. So impose a mandate. So this is what government did, Affordable Care Act. It imposed everybody mandate to have health insurance. It actually increased the number of people who bought insurance. So if government says all citizens have to buy $825 policy from a private company, this is mandate. Government can offer insurance directly, okay? Certain countries have this. Government has health insurance. This would have similar effects. Or subsidize private purchase of full insurance. Okay, so US government, also Affordable Care Act did this. Government provided certain subsidies, okay, to those low-income people. So let's talk about other reasons. Government interferes because of adverse selection and asymmetric information. So let's talk about other reasons for government's intervention to insurance markets. In addition to adverse selection, these are externalities, administrative costs, redistribution, and paternalism. Externalities and administrative costs. Underinsurance actually causes negative externalities. Let me talk about these people who are underinsured. They will lose productivity. They're going to get sick, let's say, and they could be spreading diseases. Another example of negative externality of underinsurance could be, this is very sad, this used to happen before Affordable Care Act. People who wouldn't have health insurance, right, they would get sick, they would go bankrupt, they will lose their homes. And if these numbers go up, this actually causes instability in even housing markets. They're not only affecting themselves, but the overall economy. The other reason is the economies of scale in administrative costs. So administrative costs for Medicare is less than the 2% of claims paid. So when we talked about, careless people pay premium of $1,500, and this is the expected payout for them. So for Medicare, 2% of that amount is going to be administrative costs. Administrative costs for private insurance companies is about 12%. Why? Because Medicare can actually process large quantities of people. So the more people you have, the lower administrative costs. My sister has actually an insurance agency. Her admin cost is about 20%. Okay, what does it mean? So if the actuarially fair premium for an insurance is $100, well, they gotta make money too, right? They have to pay their agents. So that's $20 on top of this. So it's gonna be $120. Okay? So government can manage the administrative cost a little bit more efficiently. The other two are redistribution and paternalism. Paternalism, with full information, insurance premiums will be very, very different. So for instance, we are doing lots of these genetic testings. Lots of people are doing this, ancestry testing. And we know that in some ancestries there's more inclination, or there's more susceptibility to certain types of cancer. The chances are a little bit higher. For instance, Ashkenazi Jewish, Eastern European Jewish communities have higher percentage of certain diseases. So genetic testing, this is a little scary, but may allow insurers to predict and discriminate against certain groups. So this could be a fairness issue, okay? So government may be like interfering and saying, you know what, we're not going to do it. Paternalism is basically, sounds like what it means. Individuals may not adequately insure themselves unless government forces them. So these are some of the reasons government decides to interfere, okay? So in addition to adverse selection, we have externalities, admin costs, redistribution, and paternalism, okay? So let's talk about social insurance versus self-insurance and how much consumption smoothing happens in part 4.